Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D-Free here today. We are going over the brand new update that just came out. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you're new for more content. And like I said, we're going to try to go over literally everything. So make sure that you listen all the way through the video. I probably will wind up answering a question that you have or maybe giving you some info that you just didn't know, right? Anyways, to begin, there are various UI changes. According to the news, first and foremost, the big one is when you do click the quest button, it does give you several options. If you go back to the main screen, you now will notice that the World Tournament icon is no longer there. That is because all of the different game modes are pretty much encompassed within this button. So the top one does take you to your regular story stages per normal. If we go back, the secondary one takes you over to all of the other stuff, the events, the story mode, all the different tabs, the growth story, ECA, things of that nature, so you can see the events that are currently live right now in the game. We're going to come back here because there are little things like missions, etc. that are now showing, but we're going to talk about that in a moment, so stay tuned. Anyways, down below, the World Tournament icon. You guys see that there. Next one over, as you guys probably guessed, is the Dokkan Battlefield slash Virtual Dokkan Ultimate Clash, whenever it comes to global, right? And then the last one is the door, and this takes you over to the keys. So all the ways that you can use your wonderful keys, we're going to come back to that too. So that is the main UI update slash change. If you're a global player, maybe you don't know that they've done a couple of UI changes in the last couple of updates, like the Giru, things like that. You can now search character names in your box and stuff, which I guess doesn't really apply too much to JP because you have to use kanji, but nonetheless, it can do things like that. So stay tuned for that, whatever that update does go over there. So moving on. Let's go back to what I was just talking about with the events. So a cool thing about the events is that they now show the remaining missions that you need to complete, and they also do show the time remaining. So as you see right here, forgive me, it's this update for whatever reason is taking some time to load. I don't know why for me personally. But anyways, as you see here, whatever this event is, it does say that all of my missions are complete. So of course, as you guys know, when events come out, there are typically missions that come out alongside them, like, hey, defeat this number of opponents this many times, or things of that nature, in order to get this item or character or stone or things like that that you can get. Another thing that is happening is it does show you the days remaining. So this Bulma event is live for 3 more days, right? Now that is only on events that aren't on like a daily rotation, such as this one, for example, from what I can discern. And also all these other ones, I've completed all the missions, so it says that there. Now, what happens when you haven't completed all of the requisite missions that come alongside them? Something else happens. So if this wants to load, it's really struggling to load for some reason. But anyways, here's an example. So we have the Hercule Event. I haven't played this in a few weeks, but the thing about this event is I have 30 out of 51 missions complete. So if we come in, if it decides to load, you can see the stages that I've complete per normal, things of that nature. It doesn't tell you which stage in particular off the bat, what you need to do, but there is this button in the bottom right corner right here that you can press, and it'll show you all of the missions that you need to complete as far as this event specifically is concerned. As you see at the top, it says 30 out of 51. These are the remaining 21 that I do need to complete. And if you click on this, and then this, it'll take you to where you need to go to get that mission complete. So it's a pretty cool thing that they're able to do that. So it just makes it a little bit easier, right? It takes you right to the event and things of that nature. And also, on the subject of missions, there now is a daily missions tab as well. So let's go over here. So when we go to the missions tab, and we go way to the top, you see Goku and Krillin? You see that? There are daily missions. These reset apparently every 24 hours, so make sure you get them done. You get Kai, a stone, whatever the case is. And when you're in a situation like I am, where you have a number of the missions that are done, you see I have 15 total on the screen, you can hit this orange button right here. It'll ask you, do you want to collect all 15? You can hit OK, and it will do just that. So that is an awesome new quality of life thing, just to make it a little easier. Assuming this wasn't in the previous one, it also shows you what you picked up here and stuff like that. But anyways, pretty cool little feature, right? It just goes ahead and picks up all of the stuff there. And the reason I say assuming it wasn't in the previous one is because I just noticed that one. So anyways, like I said, the last update featured several UI changes as well. So that's how you're going to navigate the game for the most part. Now, when it comes to some of the other changes they made to the character box, you can now select numerous categories at one time. So when we come over here, we're going to just, I guess, select these top 2. You can take a look at them at the same time, but don't worry, you can select a number of categories and see the units that are in them all. So there's 11 categories. It'll show you all that stuff. Of course, my box is kind of, what's happening here? What's happening? Let me do cost, and we'll like just turn on that stuff for all the units that are in all those various categories. So it helps you in certain situations where, like, because there are a lot of bleed over when it comes to these events, where like ROG and Botara, things like that, Time Travelers in Future Saga, Full Power and Enhanced Transformation. There's a lot of unit bleed over to where you can, you know, do things like that, or like if you're taking on SBR, you can find loopholes and run specific category teams versus other stages, stuff like that. So that's where that's pretty cool. Some people were speculating that will lead to dual category leads at some point, or triple, I don't know. I think that's possible as a side note, but there that goes. Also, there are other little updates. Apparently, they made changes to the way that the game has UIs in other places. I heard some people saying that there are now like visual load screens or things like that. I haven't really tried any of that out yet, so I can't tell you otherwise. Also, on top of that, they did fix some of the issues with super attack animations for these characters, and also the giant transformation. Apparently, it happened to me a couple of times where Lord Slug, whenever he defeated the opponent, the app would just crash. I saw a couple other people tweet me about something similar, so the giant transformations should no longer do that. And apparently they also did fix super attacks that distorted the screen or changed the layout of the screen. So like, for example, most notably would be Janemba. Again, this isn't something that I've tested, but I do know this is an issue, and if they fixed it, great. It shouldn't be a thing anyway. But when Janemba would super attack, you'd be able to see like the black overlay for the super attack underneath the damage kind of be off place, off center with the actual background. So that's something else that apparently they should have fixed with this most recent update. So let's go ahead and talk about, finally, what you guys obviously mainly would have wanted to see. So we're going to transition over to the keys. Now, as far as I know, there is no actual word, hey, this is how you're going to get these keys as we proceed, right? But we got a bunch of them via login right now. And I'm going to assume that we get a lot of them via missions and logins. They're supposed to be an easy item to obtain courtesy of the data miners. They are ranked as low rank items, so they're not going to be something that's going to be too hard to get. We'll probably get a number weekly or things like that. So right now, of course, we all have a number of them, but be careful with them until we figure out how to get them, because I can't tell you how often we'll be able to get them, things like that right now. So you start off with 30. So this tab here is the one that shows the story events. You see the super strikes are live. I wanted to give it a little bit of time to load up. And also other story events for characters and stuff that do show up here. So most notably, I'm so disappointed about this. By the way, I'm happy Arale's back. I'm disappointed about the fact that most notably the Countdown to Resurrection F event is not here. This is the regular Resurrection F event, but the Countdown event isn't here. And I know why it's not, because the unit that you would primarily be awakening isn't a unit you can get. The Int Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, you know, things like that, he was given out as a login way back. I'm talking about 3.5 years ago, at least. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long time since I played that event, but also I wanted to play it because Cop Krillin. So keep in mind there are some events that aren't here. Also, as you guys may have noticed, it appears that Piccolo Jr.'s strike event and the Kibito Kai strike event are not listed here as well. So those events, I'm guessing, were permanently canceled and they're not part of the game anymore. They're not coming back, because right now we do see pretty much every other event is live on this tab. So stay tuned for that. But when it comes to the events individually, let me show you guys what happens. So again, I have 30 keys total. It'll show you that at the bottom. As you play, there are going to be varying amounts of keys that are needed for these events. Be aware that when you play, it doesn't unlock the stage for a set amount of time. A lot of games with this type of feature will unlock for like an hour. I don't know why they didn't bother doing that here. You do need to constantly use the asking price of keys per stage that you take on. And again, there are different types of keys. We can't click on these other two tabs. They do absolutely nothing yet, but stay tuned for that. This tab here does feature things like Super Battle Road, the Prime Battles, Dokkan events that are and aren't live. So for consideration, be aware of this. I don't know if too many people ever make this event mistake, but today you can take on Int type events, I think right now, and stuff like that. So you can actually see the events right here as far as everything that's available. And are there any events here? Actually, you know what? I think that they did. Okay, so never mind. What I was going to say is that I think that they're going to show you the events that are live at the same time. But no, the events that are actually live in the regular quest area are not here, because I was concerned people were going to, you know, take it on from here or whatever the case is. But again, also Raleigh's Dokkan events here, so that's pretty cool too. because I know a number of people weren't able to complete that. Also, there's a little scroll on the side because you can see, this was a thing anyway, but you can kind of see what events have the Supreme Kai missions that you can take on to complete those. And again, they cost varying amounts, right? So the Supreme Kai missions for the medals, etc., cost varying amounts of keys that you would need to use. So when we go over to the Extreme Z tab, I believe Piccolo's EZA event is in here though. And it does look like that. Piccolo is not live. This one here is the one for Gohan, yeah? I believe so. I'm not going to double check it. But anyways, no, this is the one where you just got free stuff, right? I don't care, whatever. Yeah, it was for Gohan. Oof, double checked it. So you can always take on older stages, right? But if you needed to go back and play these stages, be advised, again, it will cost you three keys to run this stage one time through. Same thing applies for the other EZA events. If you need to rerun some of those stages or things like that because they're not live, that's how you would do it. You would have to use your keys. I feel like these are the keys that are going to be a little bit easier to get, but really where this situation is good is because it allows you to play events that aren't live at certain times. For example, again, SBR, it's a weekend thing. So right now it's not live, and you can literally play the stages. Probably going to cost 1 to 2. Okay, one key, excuse me, is not bad at all. So that's really cool. So in the entirety of the update, that's pretty much it. Again, there might be some minor other tweaks that I didn't come across or things like that that are inconsequential, to be fair, but that is it, everyone. Let me know in the comment section down below, is this the best or one of the best updates ever? I will say that it is one of, but having played this game for literally 4 years just about, there have been a number of updates that have been very, very paramount in this game, such as the potential system, a whole ton of other ones that are really, really good and very, very paramount, like I said. So I'm not going to go as far as to say that, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. What events are you most excited to play now that they are live again, a Raleigh, things like that. And that is it, everyone. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. Take it easy, everybody.